Ever heard of Formula 4?
What's the big deal about it?
Drivers of all ages compete in this category. I'm thinking 6, 7, 8 years old.
This is incredibly dangerous.
Can you imagine your own kid in the seat of a race car going up to 200 miles per hour?
My name is Billy Monger. I'm 14. I'm up. Stop it.
You won your first British Championship at the age of 10.
Billy Monger!
I bought him a go-kart when he was 3.
As a mum, it's terrifying.
He was the perfect driver. Smooth, he was, boom, straight to the top.
What's the worst that could happen?
This is crazy. Are you people insane?
All of us will admit that that's really shocking, and so dangerous.
Just shut up. Just keep out of other people's business. Stop telling us how to live our lives.
He loves it so much, so you can't stop them.
It's really special to get to spend time with your dad.
How did things end up going so wrong?
I don't know whether I can talk about all of that.
Should parents be pushing kids to compete in this dangerous sport?
Billy Monger is taking big risks here.
It's lights out and away we go.
Oh, son, oh, that's horrendous. That's absolutely enormous. He just couldn't see him.
Yeah, my dad kind of got me into racing. I first got on a go-kart at 6. Started off doing like 1 weekend a month, then it moved to 2, 3. Eventually it was sort of, if we weren't out at a weekend, it was very rare that we weren't racing. So when I first started at 6, just you and your dad going racing, and it was really special to get to spend time with your dad.
I get my buzz now out of watching him race, you know. That's all we've ever done, really, apart from go to work and try and earn the money to go racing.
As a mum, it's terrifying, but he loves it so much, so you can't stop them.
It's just like a normal morning, racetrack, Billy up late, and yeah, it was just like any normal race weekend morning.
We're all set for round 6 of the F4 British Championships.
I think after the first 4 races, I think we were 3rd in championship, so I do think I could have won it.
And here we go, on board with Monger.
I don't know whether I can talk about all of that. Let's move on and we'll come back to that.
Lights out, away we go. Jamie Caroline's going to try and annex 2nd position, but he's got...
It was a bit of a chaotic race. Jamie Caroline, he had a slight bit of contact with another driver. He ended up spinning and I spun to avoid him as he came back across the racing line.
Caroline goes for the and gets checked. That's the trouble out of the gap. We've got an on-board with Billy Monger in the JHR brigade car, and there it is. Billy is going to be absolutely gutted about that.
Yeah, it looks like he's got damage as well. Monger was taken out of the 2 Arden car.
Just put me in a bad position, so I was just trying to then work my way back through the field. There was 2 guys ahead of me that were battling, and there's me catching up, getting closer and closer to the back of them, and then last minute they put out the way.
Jamie Sharp goes through on the inside line, so up into 13th place.
You can see they're all scrabbling around for grip.
Oh, no.
Son, oh, that's horrendous. That's absolutely enormous. He just couldn't see him.
Probably every parent's worst nightmare, really. I did blame myself, you know. Although everyone around you is telling you it's not, it's not your fault. You still, deep down your heart, I did blame myself, yeah. To be truthful, I bought him a go-kart when he was 3. He's not an aggressive sort of kid, so we didn't think that racing would suit him. He suddenly decided, that's the life for me. We was then sent to the hospital. We said, you go to the hospital because they're going to fly him by air ambulance. That was probably the worst time, really, not knowing, what the full extent of it was at that time.
I thought I was going to wake up and be completely fine. Obviously, hearing the news and kind of looking down and seeing, you can tell it doesn't look right. There's nothing there anymore. It's like a bit of a brutal awakening.
I remember talking to him and having that conversation with him that, look, you've lost your legs, and he knew.
Sitting in a bed for 3 weeks, not using any muscles, it takes its toll on your body that really drained me physically and mentally. Before you start ever walking on prosthetics, you're like, oh, I'm going to go in full guns blazing, I'm going to put my legs on, I'm just going to start running and walking straight away. Which isn't the case, and it's not until you realise that that isn't the case that you it does become more of a difficulty, like mentally. That really made me acknowledge the accident a lot more, because it kind of opened my eyes up to the fact that none of this is ever going to be the same as how you did it before.
It's the rest of your life, really, this sort of thing, because, you know, you'll get days where you can wear a limp and it's fine, you get a day the stump might change a little bit and you just don't want to wear it. And this happens quite a lot of time. You can't legislate for when it's going to happen either. It's a lifelong thing now.
You think when you first try and walk on prosthetics, the first day I can really remember vividly of me thinking, wow, this is extremely difficult.
Deep down your heart, yeah, I did blame myself, yeah.
The most important part for me psychologically after my accident was watching the incident multiple times when I was in hospital. Reliving that moment that happened so quickly to me that I wasn't able to comprehend it. Just allowing myself time to realise, okay, there was nothing I could have really done there. I didn't want my accident to become a fear and not addressing it and treating it as this horrible thing that had happened to me, rather than just looking at it for what it was, which was an accident. Someone mentioned Alex Zanardi's name to me, who was a racing driver, competed in Formula 1, had an accident similar to mine, lost both his legs, and he went on to racing again. It just sparked that little bit of curiosity in me that went, oh, hold on a minute, he's raced again. Maybe there is a chance I can race again. My mum was like, don't even think about going near a race car again. When I was starting to think about how I was going to get back, the spark and that passion came back into me. It was going to make me happy, and that's all she wanted to see, really, so it kind of just went from there.
I had no idea where to start. Obviously, at the time I first started, the only option for me was to put it all on the steering wheel because my legs were still recovering.
My dream is to one day race in Formula 1. But no disabled driver has ever been allowed to compete at this level.
Really, what matters most here is the title of Pau Grand Prix winner. It's a title we've been awarding for over 80 years. This race has been won by the likes of Tazio Nuvolari, Juan Manuel Fangio, and more recently, Lewis Hamilton. Billy Monger, I believe, that is heading into the pits, and so is Nikolai Kiergaard, and from the back of the grid, Aldo Fastantes. Looks to me like they're going to be taking the gamble of starting on wet weather tyres. The other 12 drivers are all set to start the race, and let's go, and Julian Hanses gets away fairly well. Yuki Tsunoda is away cleanly too. How are they going to be as they come through turn one? Tsunoda slotted into second.
As I came out of the pits, there was probably about a 20-second gap just to the next car in front of me, so I knew that I had a lot of ground to make up.
Our race leaders clinging on their slick tyres, and Billy Monger absolutely flying on his wets. Approaching the chicane where he made that stunning pass on Tsunoda. He is having a try. He launches down the inside. The teammates collide. The two motorpark drivers off, and that was Billy Monger going past them into the lead of the Pau Grand Prix. It has been a stunning performance from Billy Monger. He sees the checkered flag. He wins the 78th running of the Pau Grand Prix. What an outstanding drive.
Everyone out there feels a little bit proud of him.
I was fortunate, given that the situation with my mum and dad, that they could be there to support me through it. I've got so much life to live, and I'm very grateful that I'm even here. It might have been a possibility that I wouldn't be here. Anything possible, if you set your mind to it, you should work towards it. Don't ever let anyone tell you you can't do anything. Never say never. That for me, that's what it's all about.